Can I ask you a question for Roger Smith News?
Sure.
When did you attend your first con, and what was the most memorable thing about it? Con is not a bar mitzvah.
Right. My first Cannes Film Festival was 1983, so I'm starting on my 27th. It's my 27th festival. The most memorable thing there was Orson Welles was there that year. And of course, there was a press conference with Orson Welles. And I wanted to go to that press conference, but there was no way in hell they were letting me into that press conference. But he was there, the Orson Welles. And that first made a big impression on me, and also I wanted to get a more democratic way of running a festival, because little people like me were not allowed to meet the big stars, and I wanted to change that. What's your next question?
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, that's all.
Orson Welles, isn't that enough?
I was going to continue now. Okay, here's my second
It's
question.
supposed to be short.
What's the
Short
title
answers,
of a
please.
film that you discovered at this year's con, which you'll remember long after the festival is over, and why? That sounds a little bit school marmish, but go ahead, give it a shot.
Well, it isn't con yet, so I haven't seen the movies. But
let's say last week. Tell me about the one that you filmed for Cinnamon, or that you showed for Cinnamon. That was a great short. I love that. And the other one.
What about Who Do You Love, which was a terrific movie?
Okay.
By Jerry Zaks.
And
but we're talking about films from other cons, actually, other con film festivals.
Yeah. Okay.
What about? Let's just talk about briefly one of the films that I did see at Cannes. Yeah. This film by this Portuguese director, and they had this scene in it that was about 15 minutes of Harvey Keitel watching an enormous statue of Lenin being put on a freighter and then going out of the port. It lasted 15 minutes. Most of the people in the audience walked out booing. I stayed. That was a very memorable moment for me.
That's wonderful. What was your most unpleasant experience at Cannes, and why?
I think in the old...
that you'll admit to.
Yeah, in the old Palace Festival, when the film was really important, it was a hot film, there was no tickets like there is today, so you just had to push your way in. So you got pushed in like a sardine. So it was very unpleasant. But then, when the film was not good, people would walk over you, physically walk over the seats and on your lap to get out, booing, absolutely booing. It was very unpleasant.
Sounds good. And what person, film, encounter, or experience has been the most transformative for you at this year's festival?
Or let's say one of the past year's festivals.
Just this.
Well, that's a hard question.
Because you haven't even had it yet, so it was last year's.
Or whatever festival, in 2017. That's a very hard question, James. But let's just say that meeting Agnès Varda, a very famous French filmmaker there, was important to me and to starting my own festival.
Very good. And you've had a festival now for how many years?
25 years, just 25 years.
And the current version is...
Cinémonde is going on its... We don't count by years, we count by soirées. We're starting our 11th soirée.
Well, thanks, Jerry. I'm reporting for Roger Smith News, actually.
We love Roger Smith News.
On your instigation, and this is now 3 minutes and 25 seconds. That's a long
It's a very long piece,
So goodbye.
Yeah, that's why four questions. That's why 4 questions is like the most you can ask of anyone.
I met Agnès Varda last year. She didn't care for me very much.
What?
I met Agnès Varda last year. She didn't care for me very much. I was really excited because I love the new wave. And she's like one of my idols.
Where'd you meet her?
At the New York Film Festival.
Yeah.
And I was working on it.
Wow.
And I was sitting at dinner with her, and John Kochman was like, Agnès, this is Jennifer, our intern. And she was like, where did you study? And I was like, I studied philosophy in Paris. She was like, which school? I said, American University of Paris. She's like, oh.
That's not a school.
And that is not the Sorbonne. She went to the Sorbonne Film School in the 70s and was very cool, or the 50s.
The art school. She went to the art school.
I didn't go, so I'm useless.
That's good,
and then she
but
turned
now
away.
we
Talked to her
are.
daughter.
Ask Ashley how many cons she's been to.
Ashley, how many cons have you
I've
been
been
to?
to 2. 2010 will be my 3rd.
And let me just try.
No, I won't be chewing gum.
Well, this is good.
I want people to feel like, they're
will you
one of the
make
people.
a sales pitch for that gum that you're doing? Tell me what. Give me the story
It's
about
minty
the gum.
fresh.
And
And
as if you were an actress.
freshens your breath after your morning coffee, so you don't have to be afraid to be in public.
Blowing coffee on people.
Right.
In their hair, like an Icelandic mist.
Favorite high school
They're gonna title it.
All right, can we go on with